everybody. Just want to share a quick little insight from my City General Conference this morning. While I was working out at the gym, I was listening to George Albert Smith's April 1932 General Conference address. And this General Conference address, I swear it could be given again today because the same issues are being faced in the world today. George Albert Smith was talking about how the world was going through an era of depression. And this depression was causing a lot of people to rethink old systems. And that many people were coveting their neighbors' goods and that they were seeking to establish governments to steal from their neighbors and give to other people. And he's like, this is wickedness. And as I was talking to my wife about this, I'm like, Hugh B. Brown in the 1960s referred to communism as the earthly manifestation of Satan's plan. And when you really think about it, the idea that we should have control of our property is scriptural. We believe in the Doctrine and Covenants that the purpose of government is to protect individual property rights. So when people are seeking to establish governments, whether they are federal, state, or even a mayor, like in New York City, who is seeking to steal from people and redistribute wealth, establish communism or socialism, this is not found in the scriptures. This is actually Satan's plan. This is against what we believe. It is theft. When you institute the stealing from one group and the giving to another group, it is based primarily upon greed, and then it's also based upon theft. You break 2 of the 10 commandments when you are a socialist. And really what it comes down to is the premise of socialism and communism is the same premise that Satan presented in the Grand Council of Heaven. And that was, people won't do the right thing. That's why capitalism has failed in the eyes of the socialists and communists, including members of the church, is they will say things like, we tried capitalism, but people aren't going to do the right thing. They're not going to do it. The government just needs to take the money and force them to do it. They need to steal from you and force you to take care of the poor and the needy. Otherwise, the poor and the needy won't be taken care of. That's the exact same plan that Satan had introduced in heaven of, let me just go ahead and force people to do the right thing, because if you give them the choice, they won't do it. And that's like, how can Latter-day Saints, knowing the plan of salvation, knowing the words of the prophets, knowing the prophets have called these things satanic, think that they can support these things in this life and escape the consequences that our brothers and sisters who supported them in the last life had? Remember, if you supported Satan and the idea that you should force other people to do right in the prior existence, you were damned eternally. That's a severe consequence, and I don't think it's worth repeating.